Everybody say hi. Big round of applause. We're filming this. There we go. Is it on? Are we on? Are we good?
It's a green light.
All right, perfect.
Cool.
Well, Jory, I'm so glad you're here. I got the privilege of meeting Jory a couple months ago. We hosted a film festival here. I'm not sure if any of you were able to attend. We had a ton of films come through, and Jory was one of the photographers that came by to photograph the event. And it was kind of a great blessing just to be able to meet him. I knew that the collective was coming up, and I knew that we were going to be showcasing his work. And then over the last couple days, I've got to spend some time with Jory, and it's been a blessing to hear who this man is, not only about his artistic talents, but about how he loves the Lord and where God has brought him from and what God is doing in his life through his photography and where God is going to be taking him. So I guess I'd like to just start, Jory, with what does it mean for you to be here tonight?
It means a great deal. First of all, thank you, Brian, Chris, Shekinah. I mean, seriously, Shekinah, in my opinion, is going to be the highlights. They are just awesome.
They're amazing, yeah.
I'm very thrilled to be sharing a show with them. But the show is very, very meaningful to me in the sense that this is my first show since my mother died.
Right.
My mother died on, Easter Sunday. And it was a very tragic thing, and it still is. And I'm getting through it day by day, but this is a big step for me because I know that my mom would have liked that.
Right.
She would have wanted me to keep pushing on.
Right.
And for a while, I was really in a depressed area in my life. And here we are.
Yeah.
And this is like the getting back into life.
Absolutely.
And so I really thank you for that.
And I remember you telling me, I was so overjoyed when you told me that right before your mother passed away, she accepted the Lord.
Yeah, that 11th hour and 59 second bedside conversion is just, she rejected Christ her whole life, but she knew, but she didn't accept, you know. And then all of a sudden it was like, I am a new child of God. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like, and she kept asking if heaven would have elephants to spray water in her mouth because she was on her hospital bed. And she knew how to bring us joy.
Yeah.
She knew how to make us laugh, and she left me a legacy of love.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, we're so glad you're here. So let me ask you, I guess, how you got started in photography or art in general, for that matter. Is it something you've done your whole life and you fell into, or kind of how did that get started for you?
You know, I didn't really fall into it, and it didn't really choose me either. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a mold.
Okay.
I grew up in the country boy.
Where from?
Wisconsin. Packers. Yes!
Wow.
You bet. We got a lot of Packer fans in the house. That is awesome. Wow. I think they're playing tonight, right? Yeah. I don't know if they're winning right now, but
I'm a Vikings fan, so.
Well, green and gold is the way to go. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Anyway, so I grew up in the country. That little drummer boy, you know, I was making drum sets all the time. I was making guitars, and then I discovered National Geographic, and that was my escape to the rest of the world. Here I am in the country in Wisconsin, this farm fields and dairy farms.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I see these pictures from all across the world, and it's like, oh my goodness, it just made me dream big.
Sure.
And then I discovered Ansel Adams. And it was just one of those things. I knew I was going to be a photographer.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how I was going to get there.
Sure.
It took me many, many, many years to get there.
Yeah.
And today, I am working on being that photographer.
Sure.
So I hope one day I can make a dent in the photography world.
I would say, I think many here would probably agree that you're well on your way there. The photography out there is just beautiful and amazing. So I guess one of the first questions I had when looking through your website, overwhelmingly landscape photography. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious as to, is that what you knew from the get-go? Is there something about, what is it about landscape that attracted you?
It makes me dream. It makes me want to be in that place, you know, and I'm not just taking a picture because it's pretty.
Sure.
I study a place for weeks before I even go there.
Okay.
I'm a Google Maps guru, I guess. You know, I have to look at the place, see what other people photograph of the same place, and how am I going to do it differently?
Sure.
And then I'll go and I will camp, wait for that light, and maybe it is different, maybe it's not,
Sure.
but I hope it is sometimes.
So how do you choose which places to photograph? Are these places you hiked before and you thought I should come back here, or you
Sometimes.
read about, or
Yeah.
all
Sometimes.
different areas?
I do have pictures that are more famous, you know, like national parks.
Mm-hmm.
But my big thing is taking you to a place that you've never been.
Sure.
I like finding that austere place. And I want you to come there with me
Right.
with my photography.
Fantastic.
And if I can do that, then I know I've succeeded in what I'm trying to do.
Right. So the other striking thing that I noticed, black and white.
Yeah.
What's the story behind mostly black and white? I think I've seen a few
Yeah.
colored photos, but
Very few.
clearly.
Yeah. I actually, I'll answer this question too in a different way, because since my mother died, I actually am going to be starting working on a color project. Two of them. Actually, one of them is inspired by my wife Vanessa, who's sitting right back in right over there. She waved her hand. Now she's embarrassed, which is cool. But she's inspired one,
Okay.
and my mother's inspired one. And one of them would be called Kim's Tree. That was my mother's name. The day before my mother died, I was photographing in Chaco Canyon.
Okay.
And I was photographing a particular juniper tree. And after I started photographing that tree, I started having these visions of my mom all day long. And I had no idea what was going on in a hospital somewhere else.
Sure.
I had no idea. So anyway, that's a color project that I'm going to be going back for years and years. It'll just be called Kim's Tree. I'll just keep photographing that tree
Fantastic.
over and over. As far as black and white now, the black and white for me is much more emotional. As a musician, I see musical notes in a black and white photograph.
Okay.
The deeper the tone is like a bass note. The higher the tone is a higher. So it's all like it's like a composition
Sure.
of a photograph.
Sure. So what would you say for you is the most rewarding aspect of photography? The fact that people get to see it, the whole process?
I think watching people look at my
Yeah.
work. Just like right after, I was just sitting there and watching people talk about it. That to me, and when they can feel a part of it, then I know I've done my job.
Yeah.
If I give people a sense of escapism.
Sure.
That's what I believe. It's like it's a form of artists are formed. We are entertainers. I'm sorry. And my form of entertainment is photography with escapism. And if I can allow you to be a part of my photograph and escape from your present world, then I know I've done my job.
Yeah. Is it difficult for you to have people look at your photographs? Because I know in talking with you for a while yesterday, you just have an amazing, gentle spirit. You're a very humble guy. And I know that you fear the Lord. And so I know sometimes you find that difficult for people to compliment you, and how you find the balance of, I like the fact that people love my work, but, Lord, how do I not let this go to my head? Do you find that to be a difficult balance?
At home, no. Okay, I like to joke at home.
Your wife probably teaches
yes,
that.
But in real life, yes, I have to find that. I don't like it when people, oh, that's amazing,
Yeah.
But I know I have to start accepting that at the same time. I have won many, many awards. And it's very humbling when people say, oh, congratulations. I get all these like Facebook likes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, we live in this world of Facebook. Like, that's what makes us better than someone else. We have like 1,000 people or something, But I have like tons of people on my Facebook who I have no idea who they are. And they just like, can I follow you because I like your work? Sure, and that makes me feel pretty good.
Sure.
That means my work is getting out there somewhere.
Sure.
And that means I have to answer their questions, and I will.
Right. I remember you telling me also I liked when you told me yesterday that it makes you continue to go back to the Lord, to recognize, okay, Lord, I appreciate that I have this gift, and it's clear, other people notice the gift that I have, but it's because of you. And to continue to realize I wouldn't have this at all if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for his grace, if it wasn't for what he's done in your life. And I liked hearing that.
Yeah, there's no question that, and that could go for anybody, but for me, everything that our walk of life takes us exactly to where we are in the very present today.
Sure.
Mine just happened to take me to photography, to my dream. And it wasn't me, well, I'm pursuing my dream, of course,
right.
But it's not me leading that dream. It's God is definitely, walking with me every step.
He's leading you, and you follow the path that he's leading for you, and he's giving you that passion for art, and he's leading you in that way.
The doors that open along the way, I get flabbergasted, like, holy cow, how did that just happen?
Right.
I could never do that.
Sure.
I'm just amazed.
Sure. Well, a lot of photographs out there, I know, and some of the ones I think we're showing are just these beautiful, kind of calm, tranquil scenes. But you also have some photographs of some pretty violent weather.
I do. Holy cow.
I guess I'm always curious how people get those photographs. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you thought, Lord, I'm in over my head, I should probably sit down and write a goodbye, I love you letter to anybody? Have you found yourself in a situation that you were scared, you thought, is this the end for me?
I am so glad that you brought that up, because that picture in of itself is, every time I see it, might look calm, but every time I see it, I get the shivers.
Okay.
Because I know what happened after that.
So what happened after this calm, beautiful photo?
I was set up to camp for about 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
At this point, I'm about 5 miles from my camp and about 8 miles from my car.
Okay.
So that means I hiked in 3 times, with all my gear, back and forth to my tent, back, oh my goodness. The things I do to get a photograph is unbelievable.
But it's worth it.
Yes. By the end of the day, I'm a sweaty pig,
Sure.
But anyway, so this photograph, I can see, I came here for this reason, to photograph monsoon at BC Badlands.
Okay.
But I did not think that it was going to build up right over top of me. And that is exactly what happened. I took this photograph, and what you don't see is straight above me, if you saw there's a picture out there called Cloudburst Monument Valley. One of those was building up right over top of me. And you can't really see that because it's right over top of you. You can just hear the rumble of thunder.
Right.
So, like I said, right after this photograph, I started feeling raindrops. And I'm like, that's not good. Because those hills, that's clay. That's not sand. And when that gets wet, it's slippery. And so I was like, okay, well, where am I going to be? There's lightning everywhere. I don't want to be on top because I didn't want to get struck by lightning. I'm carrying all my gear. No rain gear, nonetheless, okay? Literally none.
So
because
you were going specifically to photograph monsoon-type weather occurrences.
Yes,
But no,
absolutely.
I didn't know if I missed it.
I'm glad you caught that.
Okay, all right. I didn't hear that one before.
No, it's
so I just wanted
perfect.
to
Yeah, but you realize that when I packed up when I set up my tent, the sky was blue.
Sure.
And I was just going to set up so I can take pictures in a distance.
Okay.
But that wasn't really the case.
God had other plans.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Did he have other plans? So I didn't want to be in the arroyo because they flood. So it started to rain really bad. And I mean, we're talking, you guys saw some of that 6-inch rainstorms that we had like a couple of weeks ago? That's what it was going on here. So I got down fetal style.
We have one more. Do we have another photograph? There we go.
Yeah. That's a different storm though.
Did you have rain gear at least for this one?
I did not.
Okay. One of these days, I think.
Yeah. No, but actually the rain gear was in my tent the last time.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I had it, but I didn't take it.
I digress. So
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
What
that?
was it?
I said next time leave it at home if you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
One less load you have to carry back and forth. Right?
And it's just a little poncho I could put in my pocket, So it is. and it works.
Right,
So anyway, yeah, I'm crouched down, literally.
Well, so yesterday you told me
Oh,
that before you crouched,
yeah.
you chucked your tripod.
Oh no, that was part of the story, not
Okay.
first. Okay, not
Okay,
first.
all right.
Yeah,
I
because
apologize.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Well,
I'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I said, I am crouched down. I mean, like as small as I can make myself. I thought it might just be a rain that might last maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
I really did. Like most monsoon storms. All of a sudden, this lasted 20 minutes. I looked at my watch, 10 minutes. This is really bad because now water is rushing over my head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's filling up that thing. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I really felt like this is the end.
Right.
And then I started to walk in the water. And because I was trying to find a drier spot, maybe so I can get on the side of the hill so where the water's not running.
Sure.
But that really wasn't the case. It got worse and worse and worse. So the lightning, I'm telling you, the lightning was just on top of me. It was so close, it was like snaps of thunder. That's how close it was. And I can feel the hair, just like, it was just there. And so when I'm walking, trying to find a little bit more cover, I chucked my tripod. I mean, I didn't even care. Because I did not want to die.
Mm-hmm.
I really did not. I do value life.
That's
believe it
good.
or not. I
Especially
am.
on,
Yeah, I am a daredevil. I admit that.
Okay.
But my wife really keeps me alive, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, so I trucked the tripod. Okay, and it's gone. It's a long way away, and I don't know where I really threw it. I just chucked it, and then I lay down flat on the ground again. I didn't care. Water was running over me. Hail's hitting my ears everywhere.
Right.
This lasted about an hour and a half.
Wow.
The whole storm. Okay, lightning all over, and I'm wet. You get to a point where you're so wet you don't even care anymore. Because at first you're like, oh, I'm getting wet, right? Oh, there's a raindrop on me. It's like, oh, darn it, and oh, it's bouncing up dirt on me. It's like, darn it, I don't have water. I can't take a shower in the middle of the desert. I'm gonna be out here for days, But
Problem
anyway,
solved.
problem solved. Yeah, I was really glad. So, like I said, storm was done. I tried to find my tripod. I'm all turned around. I didn't know this at the time. I just knew I was going to head towards the direction of my tent,
Where you thought.
where I thought my tent was. Okay, at this point, it's about 8 o'clock at night. I mean, the storm hit in the 6 o'clock hour or something. So I'm walking, and I'm like, oh, that hill doesn't look right. See, I like compasses, but I'm the type of person, I never get lost. Okay, I never do.
So that's
But
no reindeer,
yeah.
no compass.
Yep. But the thing though is I can always find my way out.
Mm-hmm.
I do know north, east, south, and west.
Sure.
I do know those, there's a set of power lines in that picture. Okay. I do know that power lines was 10 miles away.
Okay.
And if I headed towards those power lines, that's the main road.
Okay.
That's where my car is. Something like that, around there.
And you made it.
About 5 hours later. Because I realized I was going the wrong way.
Right.
And at this time now, all the clay hills are slippery.
Mm-hmm.
I am the abominable clay man. I mean, I was clay from head to toe,
Only New Mexico.
and I was bloodied all over the place. And it was, okay, so this is the psychological part of that. I was so stressed out. I was so, like, am I gonna live, okay? Am I gonna find my tent? Is someone gonna find me if I die out here?
Right.
All these things are going through your mind. And so the big thing though is, I forgot about this part of the story. I really did. I'm sorry. When the storm stopped, it was because I realized I was putting photography before God. That was very important to me.
Sure.
When I screamed out to God, I said, God, photography is not more important than you. It was within like that 5-10 minutes the storm stopped. And then I can, like I said, try to find my way out.
Yeah.
After I had said that, but then the trial got even worse, like I said.
Sure.
Trudging through that clay. My boots were about 40 pounds each.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found my car, it was like the greatest moment of my entire life. I found my car before my tent. How did I do that?
Yeah.
Because I found the road. And I walked along the road. I must have looked like, Have you ever seen the movie Harry and the Hendersons? Yeah, I must have looked like, Harry.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. But, my camping trip was short, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I just went home.
But you got some.
My tent was blown away, by the way.
Yeah.
It was gone.
It's a great shot. It's amazing how we can, all of us, whether it's art, whether it's work, whatever talent or ability we have, it's amazing how it's so easy for us to put that gift that God has given us before Him, and see those lines, and what He requires of us continually is to seek Him and recognize that it's because of Him we have that.
Mm-hmm.
And He does some amazing things to get our attention.
She most certainly does.
So before we finish, I got one more question.
Yes.
You're working on the color photography,
I am.
the chemistry,
I am.
and that's
Chemistry.
chemistry.
Yes.
And do you have kind of a time you think that might be finishing up? And
I would say, might give it about 4 or 5 years. Most of my projects last
Right.
years and years and years.
Mhm.
I have other projects I'm not even telling you about.
Sure.
I have projects that I think that are gigantic.
Mhm.
They're just going to have to wait. I mean, for you guys to see.
Sure.
Lots of planning goes into them.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's that, I guess.
Well, we look forward to seeing those.
I hope it works out.
Jory, thank you so much. It's been a privilege for me to get to know you. I thank you so much for bringing your photography here for all of us to enjoy and to see. And I thank you for your heart for the Lord, and just the fact that you recognize that it is a gift from God. And so we just thank you so much for that. Jory, everybody. Thank you. So what we'll do now is we're going to take about a 15-minute break. Hopefully there's still some coffee and some food out there. Please help yourselves. Jory will be out there. He's got a portfolio along with the photos that are hanging on the wall. So please feel free.
Oh, and they are for sale too.
And they are for sale. So please feel free, if you have any questions, stop by and ask him. He's an amazing man, very warm, very welcoming. I know he'd love to talk to you guys. So we'll meet back here in about 15 minutes, and we're going to have an amazing concert for you guys.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. I was a little nervous at first, but
Yeah.
I think it worked out fine.
I think that was perfect, buddy. I think you did an awesome job. I'm sorry I jumped the gun on your lightning.
No, that's
tripod.
fine.
I just wanted to make sure it got thrown in because
No,
I
I was-
love that part.
I cannot tell that story without telling that.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted.